So about 2 weeks ago, I started playing Final Fantasy BraveExvius, and I know what you're thinking, Mysidia, what are you doing? And don't worry, I'm still playing War of the Visions. I'm playing War of the Visions right now as we film this video. But I wanted to try this game out because I'm just really interested in the Final Fantasy BraveExvius world, because that's the same world that War of the Visions is in. And I wanted to see what this game was all about. It's been out for 4 years, and I played it way back when it came out. I didn't get anywhere at all. I had no idea what gacha games were or how they worked, and I didn't even like enhance a unit or anything. So I decided to try this game again, and so far I've been loving it. But the question is, can I still catch up? The game's been out for a really long time. Is there still things to do? What's the new player experience like? Is it worth still playing Final Fantasy BraveExvius in 2020, 2021? And I think right now, the answer is yes. I've honestly been having so much fun with the game. So in a series of videos, I'm going to go through my new player experience. I'm going to teach you all the things that I've been learning as I go. And then maybe if we have some veterans that are watching, they can lend their advice as well. So we're going to start off by looking at my units, and you can see that I've got all these units called Neo Visions. I've got 3 up here, and then I've got 2 more down below, and these are the top tier units in the game. They're the highest awakening. We're going to talk in War of the Visions since these guys are max awakening, if you will. And then we've got our 7 stars, which are the level below that, and you can see there's like 5 stars, 6 stars, all sorts of types of units in this game. So right now the main thing is you want to be getting these Neo Visions, but the 7 stars still have their uses for sure, and some can even be awakened to Neo Vision form. So Riku was the first big unit I got. I was so excited because I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and he is an absolute powerhouse. Really enjoying using him. I've got a big focus on the Final Fantasy VI crew because they've had multiple events, and I've been able to get a bunch of currency and stuff, and it's all through this drop bonus that they offer. So you can see I've definitely focused on them, but I've been really lucky. They give you so many summon tickets. They're constantly giving you summon tickets and different things that I've managed to pull. Alina, Axstar, Onion Knight, this other guy, the ninja guy down in the bottom right there. Lots of really cool units, and I've actually built up a little bit the story units that they're not really worth anything, but it's just fun to see them grow. So you can see that I've got those red, like there's Rain and Laswell and Nickel, Jake, and Sakura there. So lots of you know, cool units that I've been playing around with, and you can see just all these Final Fantasy characters. You know, Kingdom Hearts Cloud. All these things, Garland from Final Fantasy IX, Rufus, lots of really cool characters to build, and I'm really enjoying that part of the game so far. So obviously the game's been kind to me, and not everyone's going to be this lucky. You know, I didn't even re-roll. I picked up my account from however many years ago. I had no progress on it, and I don't know if there was a beginner summon ticket back then. I hear that you do get a select ticket when you start the game now, so I didn't even have that. I just started pulling with all the summon tickets. You get a lot in the standard summons here. You get a lot of different tickets at the beginning to pull on all these different like pools of units, and that's how I built up my collection. So you're gonna be able to do that a lot, but then we actually have like the banners that are in the game right now. So for example, we have a Terra banner, and we have a Neo Vision Lock banner, and there's all these different featured units. And you know, the question is, if you're starting out, should you pull on any of these units? And I actually think you don't need to, and hear me out here. The game works in that you have all these different roles. You have damage dealers and tanks, there's chainers, there's people that cap off your chain and deal a bunch of damage, there's people that debuff and buff and on all sorts of different things, and we just keep getting more units every single week. So a hot unit this week might not be as good in a couple of weeks, or maybe a couple of months, or however long it takes for them to be power crept, which is a natural part of the game. And if you're a brand new player, you're not going to be at that part of the game where you're relevant for a while, where you need these top tier units. So if you spend all your lapis, that's the premium currency, now at the very beginning when you've just started out, then you're maybe just going to pull a unit that you don't need later on when you're actually ready to take on the end game content. So If you see units you like, if there's a banner that interests you, then absolutely you could pull on that, and you're going to get so much lapis from completing the 4 years of story that there is. But you don't have to feel pressured to pull. They give you a free 5-star ash, they give you a free 5-star lightning, and you can use the friend units to clear all the content that you need to clear for a very long time. So there really is no pressure to pull, although it is very fun to have Neovision units of your own. So what should you do when you start the game? Well, you are going to have to do a bit of the story, but I recommend that you first take a look at these rookie quests. These are going to be really huge for you. You get a lot of really cool stuff. You get some lapis, you're going to get some, I believe you get some summon tickets somewhere in here, and some awakening materials, but you're also going to get your 5-star lightning this way. And once you've cleared like a reasonable amount of the story, maybe just that first little area where you can get that lightning, then you're really going to want to focus on events, and events will be your first priority. So for example, if we go to the vortex here, I've been working on this Final Fantasy VI event, and as you clear the event stages, you're going to get a bunch of points, and look at all these rewards. You get all these summon tickets, all of these currencies that you get then will go to the exchange, and at the exchange you're going to be able to buy so many important items for a new player. I don't know if they're important for an experienced player, but you're going to be able to buy all the awakening materials. You're going to be able to buy all these cactars to level up your units. You can basically level up all the units as high as you need for your purposes at the beginning of the game, and that is super useful. And more importantly, these events, so we had this event for Final Fantasy VI, and we had an event for Kingdom Hearts 3 that were both the same kind of event point reward thing. Both of them gave a free unit, and those free units, you could get their Trust Masters, their Super Trust Masters, and their Awakening materials all the way to 7-star, which is just such a good way to start the game. So highly recommend that you focus on the events, and then if you have time, then you focus on the story. So with this event specifically, I've actually bought out almost the entire shop, which means that I have now started working on the story way more, and I'm pulling, obviously I'm getting a lot of lapis there, and I might actually pull in the Christmas banner just for fun to make a video about it. But yeah, you're going to be saving up a ton of lapis that way. And these events, look at this first stage, 5 difficulty, the second stage, a 100 difficulty. This one, even if you just started today, you could clear this stage with a friend unit, or just with a whatever unit you can find in the companion list. And then the 180, that was when I had that difficulty for the Kingdom Hearts one. I thought, okay, well, I'm never going to be able to clear this with my new account, and then by the end of that week I was clearing it with my own units without even needing a companion, but I was bringing the companion to get more of the bonus units, to get more of the currency drops. So this is definitely your main concern. And then there's other things, like the raid this week was really easy for new players to get into. This Steel Castle Malficia is this, they call it Item World if you see it on Reddit. This is something that anyone can do with a companion unit. And there's even in the Nemesis tab, if you go down to the bottom, the Chamber of the Fallen, there's all these bosses here. And again, you can beat a lot of them with your beginning units and a companion, and each of them will give you a weapon for beating, or an armor, or some sort of piece of equipment, and you can get lots of good starting equipment here. So this is definitely a good place to go. The next big piece of advice I'm going to give you is to find some friends, because you want to be just like me and have a full friend list of lots of high ranked friends that are going to be able to help you out with their units. And that is actually an incredibly hard thing to do in game, because all I got matched with when I started the game was with people that hadn't played in years. Seriously, years. So they're not going to be accepting any friend requests. Not that they could. Literally 100% of people had full friend lists, and I couldn't get a single request through, and I was just sitting here with 0 friends thinking, what am I going to do? And that's when I went on the FFBE Reddit, and I went to the friend code page, and I'll put that in the description below, but you want to go there, and you're going to list your information and say you're an active new player looking for friends, and people will add you. And then you can scroll through the thread as well, and you can ask, you can add people that you see there, and just make sure, you know, if they're asking for a specific unit and they're looking for a specific help from people, don't add those people. They're not looking to be paired with a new player, but Everybody else that just wants to have active friends, you can definitely add them, and before you know it, you're going to have a bunch of friends, and then all of a sudden you're going to be going into these events and you have current units that give event bonuses, and you'll be able to clear content more easily. So it's definitely a huge thing to do. You also want to go on the Reddit to look at all the different guides that are up there, because that's what I've been doing, and you can learn a ton of information about the game. I'm in that fun learning stage where everything's fascinating and you're trying to learn as much as you can about the units and about the mechanics as you can. So I definitely recommend that you do some research yourself, and that can make your kind of inform your choices. And you're welcome to ask me, because I actually feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable relative to how little I've played the game. So I definitely want to share all the good information I have for new players, but there's also going to be, you know, veterans on Reddit that know way more than I do, and they're happy to answer your questions in the daily help thread as well. So that's going to be it for this video, and my verdict so far is that Final Fantasy BraveExvius is worth playing, and I really think you should try it out if you haven't. It's actually got a huge story too that's been incredibly enjoyable. It's been my favorite part of the game so far, and you can actually explore towns and dungeons. There's secrets, secret towns and dungeons. There's espers to collect. There's so many things that you can do, so I definitely would recommend it, and I'll cover more in future videos. The next video is going to be on story, so let me know if you play the game, and let me know if you have advice for new players if you do, and then otherwise we'll see you in the next video.